Mysterious farming sim. You might not expect this, but Everholm actually has that mysterious vibes that you can find in most farming game. This game fits well with the season since it has that spooky vibes you like to enjoy in the fall. But is it still feel cozy to play, or is it too creepy to enjoy? In this video, I will tell you everything you need to know about Everholm so you can decide if this game is for you or not before getting it. So now let's check the game. In Everholm, you will play as Lily, who searches for her missing sister, Melanie. She then stumbles upon a magical portal that brings her to Everholm. This island looks cozy and peaceful, but what's weird is, everyone seems to recognize Lily even though she herself doesn't know any of them. So gather your wits and try to get along with the Everfolks and gain their trust. Who knows, their secret might provide clue on your sister's whereabouts. As you can see, the protagonist here is predetermined, so you don't have option to customize your character. You can even change her name. This is a little bit missed opportunity as I think being able to personalize our character plays a huge role in the immersion. Especially for a game that's rely heavily on story to be unique like Everholm. I think having customization will also make the player relate more to the protagonist. I'm not sure why the dev decided to do this as I haven't reached the ending yet, but I do wish they will at least allow us to change our clothing. And if you're the type who need character customization when playing farming sim, then you won't find it in this game. So you definitely need to consider this aspect before getting the game. For the gameplay, this game follows all classic farming sim gameplay that I'm sure a lot of you already familiar with. From the way you work in the farm with all of the tools upgrade and the makers to produce things. One thing that I noticed is there's no step-by-step tutorial like other farming game. Instead, you only get instruction from the character dialogue. As someone who plays farming game my whole life, I actually like this cause I do feel the tutorial takes too much time, especially if you can skip it. But if this is your first farming game, then you might need to figure out things yourself before you can understand how things work. One unique thing that don't follow the classic route is the presence of dungeon. This follows the lore of the game where you have to uncover mysteries in the underground, aka the dungeon. The dungeon is procedurally generated. Inside the dungeon, you can fight monsters and mine. In mid to end game, you can unlock magic to help you fight monsters and do work on your farm. Although I'm not the type who enjoy fighting in farming game, but so far I find them easy to do. And once you unlock ranged weapon and magic, I think it would be even easier. So if you don't mind with little fighting, then I think you can still enjoy the game. But for those who like more challenging fighting, then maybe it's too easy for you. Another thing that I also enjoy from this game is the objective. Everything that you discover will become objective that you can complete. From simple things like meeting the Everfolks to harvesting your first crops. Don't worry as there's no timer, so you don't need to pay too much attention to them as you will eventually complete them by just playing the game. But I think this is helpful, especially for those who often feel overwhelmed when playing farming game, as you can just follow the objective one by one. It works like a guide that you can follow whenever you feel lost and don't know what to do next. You will also get bulletin board where you can take requests from the Everfolks. Sometimes you will also get requests on the newspaper. This request is helpful to earn money, especially in early game as you start with literal nothing. It will also help you increase bond with the character that requests it. The requests have timer, so you need to be careful when taking them. But the reward is good, so I suggest you to do it if you can. One problem that I encounter with this is sometimes it's hard to find the character that requests the item. Especially in early game when you don't have high enough bond yet, so they won't show up in your map. The dev already said you can choose to neglect the NPCs as the story is non-linear. So if you only play for the farming gameplay, then you can still enjoy the game without worry. But if you want to know the story, then you need to pay attention to your bond. For me, the story is the one that makes Everholm unique, and that's what makes me interested with this farming game. The story revolves around Everfolks, and you can only discover the secret once your bond is high enough. So if you want to know the story, then try to work on your bond with the Everfolk. But don't worry as you can build the bond at your own pace. The dev add a few accessibility that I think makes the game more enjoyable. There are 3 day length settings so you can adjust it as your liking. You can also change the UI size, which works great to increase the menu size. Sadly, for the dialog text, the size remains the same, which is a bit weird because I thought this feature is meant to increase the text size on everything. So I hope the dev will add feature to increase the dialog text as well, because I think the current size is too small for someone who had bad eyesight like me. There's control support, but it's not perfect yet. You still need to use the right trigger to move a cursor in your screen to do certain stuff. And range combat with controller is very difficult because of the cursor, so they definitely need to improve the control support. But for general gameplay itself, the control is still usable. Overall, even though it took a while to progress, but I still think the game feels cozy. If you like classic farming gameplay, then I think you will enjoy this game. It has cute art style that's very adorable to look at. You can also see the amount of details the dev add when decorating the town. The game feels polished and it worked well with little bugs which quickly addressed by the dev. The story is non-linear and open-ended, so you can play the game at your own pace without worrying about missing the story. Everholm managed to bring back classic farming feel and add little twists on the story with its mysterious vibes. And if you want a cozy puzzle exploration game to play, check my Europa review video.